Hello student, today I am here for demonstrating the practical. So the first practical is a study of the structure of the cell, particularly the onion, hydrilla and spirogyra. We all know the cell is a structural and functional unit of living organism. Mainly there is a two types of the cell in living organism. So first one is a prokaryotic, another one is a eukaryotic cell. So the prokaryotic cell means primitive cell. The prokaryotic cell have no well developed nucleus. And the eukaryotic cell is well developed advanced cell. It possesses all cell organelle, that is true nucleus, mitochondria, chloroplast, as well as lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, vacuole. So all these cell organelle are found in the eukaryotic cell. So here we have studied about the cell of the eukaryotic, and in that the first that is the study of the onion peel. That means first for study of the onion cell, you cut the onion and take out the peeling. So in the picture you can see how you can remove the peel of the onion. Then take the slide, and on this slide you have take the one or two drop of the glycerin or the water and put the small piece of the peel, and then you have to put the cover slip in such a way that you avoid the air bubble inside the cover slip. You can may use the safranin and then observe under microscope. When we have to observe under microscope, then we will get such structure. So in the microscopic field, this is the peeling or peel which we have mounted here on the slide. Then this is the structure of which we have, uh, that is the onion peel. So the cells of the onion peel or the onion, this is the actually the epidermal cell. They are polygonal or elongated cell, and they have prominent nucleus. So here the nucleus is prominent, and there is a vacuole is also large vacuole is present. So here this is the simple structure, and which can easily we observe under microscope by doing this practical. The next cell, that is the hydrilla. So you all know this is the hydrilla plant, which is a submerged hydrophyte. So you take the small leaf of the hydrilla directly on the slide, that is glass slide. Then you use for mounting medium as a glycerin, and then put the cover slip. And when you observe under microscope, then we will get such structure. So this is the sectional view of the uh, hydrilla leaf. So in hydrilla leaf, the leaves, cells are compactly arranged. They are also elongated, and one important point, that is the cell wall we can easily observe. The vacuole is large, which is present at the center, and the chloroplast is many, large number of the chloroplast, and this chloroplast are small and they are movable. When we observe under microscope, then we will get the idea about the movement, and this movement of the chloroplast is takes place due to the streaming movement of the cytoplasm. Then the next that is the spirogyra. So the spirogyra is again the algae, green algae found in a fresh water or in standing fresh water. So this is the picture shows how the spirogyra is there in water. Then you take here the small filament of the spirogyra in on the slide, and then easily observe under microscope by putting the cover slip. Then we will get such structure. So here this is the many filament of the spirogyra, and when we magnify this few only one filament, then we will get structure. So in that, this is a cell of the spirogyra. So the cell is a broader, the cell is longer than the breadth, and there is a ribbon shaped spirally coiled chloroplast is there. So here this is a distinguishing character of the spirogyra. You can identify easily with the help of this ribbon shaped spirally arranged chloroplast. There is a nucleus, it is eukaryotic, therefore two nucleus is there. Then there is in chloroplast there is a band. So here this is the pyronide band. Pyronide is nothing but the reservoir of food material which have the starch and protein. Then there is a cell wall is covered with the mucilaginous sheath. So here this is the spirogyra. That means here in this practical we have learned about the cell structure of the onion, then hydrilla, and then spirogyra. The next, the practical related to the Triphala churn. So in that, you know the Triphala is the most common Ayurvedic medicine. Triphala consists of three medicinal important plants. Triphala is mentioned in ancient literature of the Ayurvedic medicine, and it play important role in treatment of wide variety of the ailment. And the ingredient of triphala as a dried fruit of avla, beheda and hirda. So this is a three fruits are used, therefore it is called as a triphala. Three means three is nothing but three, phala is nothing but the fruit. So here this is the fruit, that is the avla, we call it as the first one is avla, and this avla is the botanical name is Imbilica officinalis, or it is also called as a Phyllanthus imbilica. And this avla is effective in the treatment of hepatotoxicity, peptic ulcer and dyspepsia. The Terminalia bellerica, that is a beheda, it shows the anti-malarial and anti-HIV, antifungal property. The next one is the Terminalia chebula, that is hirta, shows the cardiotonic activity and anti-mutagenic and antifungal property. The herbal material used in Ayurvedic medicine should be standardized. Therefore, you have to prepare the Triphala Churna in scientific way. So here, then the requirement. So the requirement is nothing but the dry fruit of the avla, beheda, hirda, and mortar and pestle for crushing. So how you have to prepare? Take the dry fruit of the avla first, beheda and hirda. Remove the seeds of the by breaking the fruit. Grind the fruit manually, not artificial grinder, and separately with the help of mortar and pestle. And sieve the powder of each fruit into fine powder. The fine powder of each fruit mixed in equal amount in the container. Then we will get the Triphala churn. So here this is the preparation of the Triphala churn. The next practical, that is a preparation of the decoction or kada of the adulsa. So this is again the practical related to the Ayurveda. So the adulsa is nothing but Adathoda gelinica or Justicia adathoda. So it is evergreen shrub belonging to family Acanthaceae. It is important medicinal plant. It contains phytochemical such as alkaloids, tannin, saponin, phenolics and flavonoid. The leaves, roots, flowers and bark of this plant have been used in treatment of cough, cold, asthma. As a, it is also used as a bronchodilator, bronchial and bronchitis, tuberculosis. So number of part of the plant are commonly used in the form of the decoction or in the form of the powder. So the requirement, so this is the first plant material, adulsa leaves, 2 to 4 leaves. Then tulsi, in addition to this, the tulsi leaves, you have to take 10 to 12 tulsi leaves. Then this is the black pepper, 1 tablespoon. Then turmeric, 1 tablespoon. Then ajwan, in Marathi ova, we call it as a 1 tablespoon. Then you have to take the jaggery, 1 tablespoon, that is good. And last one, that is the, we call it as a ginger in 1 inch. So here all this material, this is the requirement for preparation of the decoction of the adulsa. So here procedure, first you take adulsa leaves, 3 to 4 greenish yellowish leaves. You have to wash and cut into pieces. Then you add these pieces into 250 ml water in container and add tulsi leaves, about 10 tulsi leaves, 1 tablespoon of turmeric, again add black pepper, ajwan and jaggery. Then boil above all material for half an hour and filter it. Then cool and used as a decoction. So here this is the called as a procedure for the decoction or the card. Then next practical, that is the application of biofertilizer. So the biofertilizers are the organism that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. The main source of the biofertilizer are bacteria, fungi and cyanobacteria. For example, the azospirillum, rhizobium and azotobacter can fix atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. Biofertilizer and nutrient through the natural process of nitrogen fixation, solubilizing phosphorus and stimulating plant growth through the synthesis of growth promoting substance. So this is the about the biofertilizer, and there are so many advantages of the biofertilizer. So biofertilizer are cost effective, they are eco-friendly, they increase crop yield, it improves soil texture, water holding capacity and restore natural soil fertility. It add nutrient to soil and make nutrient available to crop, and supplement to fertilizer, replace chemical nitrogen and phosphorus by 25%. So and then we have studied about the nostoc, which is used as a biofertilizer. So the nostoc is a algae, that is a blue green algae. We have know it is a freshwater algae, and it is generally used for biofertilizer because this nitrogen have the capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen by the NEEP gene. The NEEP gene is found in the cell of the heterocyst of the nostoc, and therefore it easily fixes the nitrogen, and it make the amino acids, protein and other building block necessary for life. So here this is the structure of the nostoc. So this is a filament, the vegetative cell, the heterocyst is there. So the colorless heterocyst is important for the nitrogen fixation. The next one, that is a rhizobium. So here the rhizobium is incorporated into root cells of from the nitrogen fixing root nodule. So here the root nodules are there. So in rhizobium is a habitat bacterium, soil borne bacterium, and which can be able to colonize the legume root and fixes the atmospheric nitrogen symbiotically. They are the most efficient biofertilizer as per the quality of nitrogen fixed concern. Then next one, that is a trichoderma. So this is also soil borne fungi. It is a virulent fungi, and this trichoderma result in the promotion of the plant growth. It also increases the yield of the crop and increases nutrient availability in the soil. So here this is a trichoderma. Next one, that is the azotobacter. So this azotobacter improve the seed germination and has beneficiary response on crop growth rate. It helps to increase the nutrient availability and to restore soil fertility for better crop response. It is an important component of integrated nutrient management system due to significant role in soil sustainability. So here this is the study of the biofertilizer. So I think you have got the this practical. So the study of the biofertilizer is only for identification purpose. You have to identify and comment. Then the one more practical, that is the preparation of the kada of the adosa is you have to simply we can prepare the kada, as well as next one, that is the preparation of the triphala churna. So you are quite familiar with this three fruit, and therefore you easily prepare the triphala churna. And this is the basic practical, that is the study of the cell structure of the onion, hydrilla and spirogyra. So here stop this, and next time we again explain the different other practice.